Welcome, everyone, to the next episode of Authors Bantering, where two writers discuss current writing topics. I'm here with a traditionally published author, Ian M. Rogers. And today's topic is something where I'm going to do a whole lot of not talking and let Ian take over because he knows this way better than I do. So the subject is going to be on how to have friends and family assist you with doing reviews for your work. Reviews are like the lifeblood of any kind of book, right? Amazon reviews, I guarantee you base, most of your purchases based upon that off Amazon and Goodreads, probably. And so getting them when you are first starting out, whether it's traditional or self-published, basically is very, very difficult. And so I wanted to ask Ian, how do you do it? How do you get initial reviews? How do you get enough reviews to start beefing up your page and your channel? How do you get the word out?
Yeah, so this is something that doesn't get talked about as often as it really should. And it's something that I did not know for a long time how important reviews were for, Goodreads, Amazon, sites like BookBub, BarnesandNoble.com does reviews also. And again, the internet that we use now is an algorithm driven one. So
Mm-hmm.
much is just computed through all these, these secret algorithms that the companies don't reveal. But we do know that the more reviews a book has, the more likely it is to show up in things like search results or lists, or helps
Yep.
people find it, or in different ways, or recommendations and things like that. And so having more reviews, more star ratings, more written reviews can only help your book. It could
Okay.
only help your book. And a lot of people, I think, don't know that. And so they maybe wouldn't invest the time and the energy into getting those reviews, beefing that review counter up, from, two or three to, a much higher number.
Okay. And so how would one start out with getting reviews? Like so I get my first book, I'm publishing it, we'll say, all right, like kind of like you, right? You're a small press publishing it, so you're getting a little bit of marketing, but not probably a ton. How do you get those early reviews? Like what do you use? What are your resources?
So again, I think that a lot of writers who are just publishing their first books, who don't have big platforms, they're in this exact position of needing reviews,
Mm-hmm.
and there's ways to get reviews through sort of review sites. My press uses one called Book Sirens, where you can submit your book as an ARC, advanced reader copy,
Mm-hmm.
and readers can find it and they can download the book for free with the promise that they have to leave a published review,
Hmm.
on the big sites, Goodreads, Amazon, and so on.
Okay.
And I was able to get a couple of reviews from that. The press has been using it for a while. It's a really, really good site. You should check it out. Again, booksirens.com. Or even if you're just interested in finding new fiction, so something like that is good for a lot of authors. But beyond that, I think you can get a lot of bang for your buck by just asking friends, asking family, say, hey, I got this book coming out. It would mean a lot if you reviewed it. You can explain to them how important reviews are with the algorithms. And I think people will listen to you. I really, really do, because I think a lot of people, in my experience, will want to help you with your book.
Mm-hmm.
They know that they can support you by buying the book. That's kind of a no-brainer. But a lot of people don't know about this reviews thing. And so I
Yeah.
think just, when you're talking about the book, you're talking to somebody one-on-one, if you're doing a speaking event, if you're talking to a group of people, say, hey, like, if you want to help, if you enjoyed the book, just leave a review, leave a star rating, and explain why, explain about the algorithms, and I think people are very eager to listen.
I think they are, and it's I've said this before, and I want to get your opinion basically of I think if you're a first time author, I'm betting you'd almost rather give away a book for free in exchange for a guaranteed review of it than to make money off the sale of it, right? Like if someone's like, listen, you got 100 people here, you can either make basically make the royalties off 100 basically people right now, or you can make no royalties at all, but these books basically you'll get 100 reviews. You would probably take the 100 reviews, right?
In a lot of
Yeah,
ways, yes, especially if it's a high number like 100. And
yeah,
if you think about the way that the big five publishing world works, it's they'll hook up with big time reviewers who are going to
mm-hmm.
review the books in magazines, YouTube, Book Talk, whatever. And so this idea that they're going to send them a free copy of the book, they're going to invest not only in the, a hard copy book, but postage to mail the book. Sometimes they'll do electronic copies too, especially
Yep.
with small presses. That's a really, really big one for digital ARCs. But they're going to invest time and money and free books into getting those reviews, and those are for reviews that are going to be published where more people are going to see them. But I think the same is valid for a Goodreads or an Amazon review. I
Mm-hmm.
think that investing that time, potentially money, maybe hard copy. ARCs is something you can do as an author, something you can see about doing with your press, and just getting them into the hands of people who are going to give you the reviews, which at a lot of times for a lot of authors are going to be more valuable than the royalty you're going to make from that
Bingo.
book sale.
Exactly. And so what have you done as far as like on your own as far as getting reviews? Like, how you, like, if it was me, I'm like, I'm calling up my friends, family, being like, listen, buy a book, leave a review. I don't care what it is, be honest. I don't want to be dishonest here, so be honest, but leave a freaking review on this work. Like, were you doing that for like different people? Like,
So
how were you
no,
doing that?
that's a really good question. So one-on-one conversations were really, really big.
Okay.
Somebody would say like, "Oh, I read your book. I really liked it," and I want to talk to them. And I would usually end that conversation by saying like, "Hey, I'm really glad you liked the book. It would really help if you left a review. It really helps, with the algorithms and getting the numbers up there. It helps more people find the book, and I would really appreciate it." And again, people are really, really happy to help. Another really effective thing I did was I did a pre-order for my book, so I distributed and autographed the books myself for people who had pre-ordered it. And with all of those pre-orders, I included a handwritten note. Thanks for buying the book. If you like it, leave a review. Amazon and Goodreads. It really, really helps. And
Okay.
I think people seeing that, and I definitely
Absolutely.
got some reviews from that. I was very, very happy too. A third thing that doesn't get talked about as much, I think, is just a follow up.
Okay.
Follow up like, hey, we if I had that one of those one-on-one conversations with somebody, um you know a few weeks before and so on, I might check Amazon and say, oh, the person didn't review the book. Next time I see him, maybe not going out of my way to do so, but if I'm talking to them, especially if this topic of books or writing or my book comes up, I might ask like, hey, did you ever end up leaving a review? And the person may be like, oh, I was going to, but I forgot. And then
Yes.
that's a really, really good way just to get that kind of a second reminder in there, because
Yeah, I
again, I
think
think people are good intention, but that they can forget or they get busy or whatnot.
that happened with me though too. I remember you asked me to do a Goodreads review, I think, and you were like, "Hey, can you at some point
Oh,
do that?"
that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah. And I was like, yeah, sure. I've read your, obviously read your book basically a couple times already. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'll get around to it. And you had to remind me. I think like at least once you had to remind me, like, hey, can you get to this at some point? I'm like, oh crap, yeah, let's do it. Like a friendly reminder. Yeah, this is probably the one time I think in a lot of dynamics, a lot of friendship basically where you have to be like the kind of like the asshole, be like, dude, get on this now. Like, I'm asking you as a friend, please do this now. This is deadly serious. Like,
I think
yeah,
especially
and
so again, you talk about being the asshole, but I think that again, you do what it takes, but then also I think it's different. So if your book's been out for a long period of time, maybe it's not as urgent to get the reviews
mhm,
anymore. I think there's more urgency before a book has come out, or
yeah,
right when a book is coming out, you're looking to get those reviews, have a successful launch.
yep,
A lot of people will use a launch team where they'll actually send a copy of the book, usually electronic or sometimes physical, to friends, other writers, people who have helped them in the past, done them favors, maybe
hmm,
ask them, hey, read the book, leave a review, maybe tell some friends about it. If you could post about it, maybe, especially if they're posting about books or reviewing books or just talking about books, on a blog or, a video feed or, on Instagram or something, and so they're able to generate a little bit of hype,
okay,
generate a little bit of hype there. And usually they just call that, it's just called a launch team,
launch
or
team,
has other names as well. But that's the kind of time where, if somebody agreed to do this for you, especially before the book has come out,
hmm,
they might need a little bit of prodding there,
yep,
because I think it's really important to get those early reviews, get that early hype, so that you can have a more and more successful launch.
bingo, agreed. Yeah, and so I guess, like I said, we've kind of killed the idea, right? Like, we've sort of hammered in these sort of points here. So, is there any kind of like last things you would have to say in regards to those that are maybe looking to get reviews, or those that are first time authors that are trying to get them?
I would say, in terms of things that you can focus on very easily that are going to be very effective for a first time author, for an indie author, for a self published author, reviews are going to give you a really, really big bang for your buck. Like, they're a
Okay.
great way, a great effective way that's not very expensive and not very time intensive either.
Hmm.
It's something you can really, really focus on that I think can deliver some pretty substantial results, especially over the long term as you build your author platform.
Gotcha. Okay. Very cool. And so I think we can only say so much about this topic. It really is, but the importance cannot be underscored. And so, for those that are looking to get their first reviews, those that are looking to get their first works out there, understand these are very, very important. The lifeblood probably of your work long term comes down to this. We've seen works where you only have 5 reviews on Amazon, right? And you're like, well, I'm not going to trust that because I'm sure the guy knows 5 people, right? Getting multitudes of reviews is of the utmost importance. And the ones, the books, again, look at your own shopping habits. Look at the things you buy. You probably buy things that have hundreds of 5-star reviews nowadays. And so getting those out there is important, and doing with any kind of social context, doing whatever you can to get people that first to review them, and then expanding outwards is the most really paramount thing to getting some sort of publicity for your work. Without that, I don't think there's any amount of marketing or any kind of real advertising that you can do on your own that's going to get you anywhere near what just a couple good reviews will get you. And so with that, we're going to wrap it up here. Again, I say this every single week. This is a topic in a channel that is designed for you folks here. So this is a topic that you want to be discussed. Leave it in the comments and we can get to it. With that, we post every single Monday, and we will see you all next week.
Take it easy.